following is brought to you by crazy dog people everywhere.
And on the 9th day, God looked down on his wide-eyed children and said they need a companion. Somebody willing to wake up, give kisses, pee on a tree, sleep all day, wake up again, give more kisses, then stay up until midnight basking in the glow of a television set. So God made a dog.
And now, it's time for the Down with Dogs podcast, a dog cast dedicated to keeping your furry baby fit, healthy, and happy. Here's your host, Courtney, and her boy, Jackson.
Welcome to the Down with Dogs podcast studio. Today, my guest is Mila Lewis, professional groomer who I am obsessed with. She grooms my fur baby, and he always looks immaculate. Welcome to the studio, Mila.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel absolutely honored to be here today.
And I should say, you groom right now in Windsor, Connecticut.
Yes.
At Petco.
Yes. The Petco Kennedy Road, which is located near Stop and Shop and Target.
Yes.
So basically, you can drop off your baby, and if you have any shopping you can do, grocery shopping. We also have home goods next door.
Yeah, you do.
I get lost in there 24/7, you guys. So don't get lost in there because the babies are still here.
Yes. Do a little shopping. Drop your fur baby off with Mila because she is absolutely the best. And I do realize that there are people probably around the country that listen to this podcast. They don't have access to a Mila. However,
Excellent.
I say you drive. It doesn't matter if it's hours. You need to put your fur baby in the car and you need to go see her because she is
Come see me.
the best.
Please come visit me. I love fur babies.
But I'm hoping to pick your brain on this podcast just a little for a lot of people that maybe don't have, access to you.
Okay.
So I want to talk about nail health, ears,
Yes.
things we can do at home.
Yes, home
grooming.
remedies are the best.
Ooh,
I
talk about
always say home remedies are good. It's not always the groomer that has everything. Home remedies can be the best. So when it comes down to nails, one thing you guys want to do is always make sure you check your baby's nails. If you hear the tippity tapping and it sounds like they're tap dancing across your floor, half of the time it is time to get their nails done. When you guys wait a little bit too long to get nails done, it can mess with their joints and affect how they walk. And a lot of times they will give you a warning sign by start chewing their nails if it comes to the point that it is that bad. And they're basically telling you, hey mom, I really need to get my nails done. So you always want to monitor that. Also with the pads, you always want to look at, where they're walking, whether it's in the grass, whether it's on cement. You absolutely want to be careful where they walk. Especially if the fur baby has hair in between the pads, a lot of things can get caught in there, such as sap from trees. You can also get gum. You can also get foreign objects stuck in there where you may not see it, but the babies can feel it. So if your baby is licking their paws, always make sure you check. Even if there is nothing there, you can always wipe them down with wet ones. You can always get a regular damp cloth. If you really want to make sure everything is clean, you can get a mild soap from Target, anywhere. Anything that does not have to have fragrance, just damp it just a tiny bit, scrub it in between, rinse it off, make sure they're good, and monitor how they walk. So those things you definitely want to pay attention to when it comes down to the babies.
All right, so what do you prefer? I Dremel my dog's nails. Do you prefer clipping or Dremeling, or does it not matter?
Honestly, I prefer Dremeling. When you Dremel the baby's nails, you basically can get closer to the quicks. You know when you are close to the quicks because there's going to be a little tiny black dot. It looks like a black pen.
Ooh.
If the dog's nails are dark. And sometimes it'll look like a little pink pen if their nails are clear. So some dogs' quicks can be longer than others. Some breeds are known to have longer quicks than others as well. So you want to monitor that. Some nails can be different. You can also have the outer nails where they can be shorter due to how the dog is walking, and the middle of their nails be longer. So you just want to monitor it, but I prefer Dremeling because that seems a lot better and you have a higher chance of getting closer to the quick without cutting the quick and hurting the baby and making them scared.
Which another, I guess, a good tip is you need to have Quick Stop if you're going to clip or
Yes,
Dremel.
indeed.
Quick Stop is a powder so that if you do go past the quick and it bleeds, it's a little bit of a powder you can put on the nail, will stop the bleeding.
It'll stop the bleeding and it will not cause any infection as well. But you do want to monitor it even though it stops.
I think a lot of people are actually afraid to Dremel. So would you
Yes.
suggest watching like a YouTube video, or like how would you learn? Like I learned through you. She came to my house He said, all right, this is what you need to do. And that's how I learned.
Good. And I feel honored that you actually trusted me with Jackson.
I love it.
But when you do the dremeling, it's always good to watch do-it-yourself videos on YouTube.
Okay.
You can also, I hate to say it, experiment, and you just go a little bit at a time. Just take off a tiny bit. Usually if the dog yelps, that's a warning sign like, hey, it hurts. Or sometimes you can have a baby that's just a little bit on the extra side and can be a diva, such as my baby Twinkie. She can be a little diva and do little yelps and cries and stuff. But usually if you watch Do It Yourself, usually they can teach you on how to Dremel the nails. And a lot of times you always want to round them out and not just Dremel it straight across. So when you round it out, they do not get caught on pieces of rugs, on your t-shirts, on your sweaters. If you have a small fur baby, all of those things are very important to pay attention to when you Dremel.
And I think what I do is, I think what you taught me is I would go up, side, side. Like
Yes.
a little up the tip and then side, side.
Yes. It's
Okay.
almost like you're curving, you guys.
Yes,
And
curve
there
it.
you go.
All right. So we're both on board for dremeling.
Yes.
What do you think about ear plucking? I know some breeds prefer you to pluck the ears. My dog is a Labradoodle. He's got hair in his ears. I mean, I know that back in the day I would get them plucked or pluck them myself. He would get ear infections.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. I prefer to just, if it's really hairy, do a light pluck. But I don't
Yes.
even know if that's what I should do.
So with that, with the plucking, it can go both ways. You can get some dogs that are more susceptible to having ear infections after ear plucking because you're literally irritating the ear and pulling hair out of the ear canal. So you want to do a little bit at a time. You also want to use a numbing powder, which you can find at many stores. You can also find on Amazon. You can also find on Chewy.com. Those powders help numb it so that the dog doesn't feel as much pain because it can be very uncomfortable. Some dogs can tolerate it more than others, but a lot of those breeds, you want to be gentle when you are plucking the ear hairs. You don't want to pull it all out at once because when you do that, that's where you can get the ear infections.
Yeah.
So you want to do a little bit at a time. If you are that scared, and I have some dog owners that really do not like the ear plucking, and I can agree and I can respect that because it is painful, especially if a breed has a very thick coat. So certain doodles can have thick coats where it's like, I can't even get it out because it gets matted. You just take a little bit at a time, or you can shave it out, which you can go to the vet, or, I mean, you can also do a do-it-yourself tutorial as well, but you will have to be very, very careful because the ear is a very delicate area. But shaving it out is very good. You can also shave the side of the ears so that if you can't always pluck and your baby does not like plucking, you are able to have some oxygen flow into the ears regardless.
And I would say also, you correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not a groomer, but if you're going to give your dog a bath at home, it's super important to make sure you don't get too much. I feel like if you get water, you do not get water in the ear canal,
Yes.
and make sure your baby's ears are dry after you dry them thoroughly.
Yes, it is very crucial, especially for breeds. If their ears are very floppy and they do not have the proper circulation for the ears, you are going to want to make sure you get as less water as possible in the ear canal. What I usually do with dogs that are susceptible to ear infections, long hair or short hair, stick cotton balls in the ears. And that should definitely make a difference, and it should keep most of the water out.
Make sure to take the cotton balls out after.
And take them out after, and then you want to clean the ears,
Yes.
and then you should be good to go, and there should be no issues.
All right, I am talking to Mila Lewis, who is my groomer, and I love her. She does a fantastic job. She works out of Petco in Windsor, Connecticut, if you want to get in touch with her. What are some of the questions? Because I have a lot of friends that go to groomers, and I'm like, did you interview the groomer? Did you at least go to the grooming salon and find out? Like, I feel like there's certain questions you should ask. And one of the main ones is, if you walk into a grooming salon and they have a drying cage, run the other way.
Yes.
They should be illegal.
Yes, because to a certain extent, when you do use the dryers, if they are very forceful, you want to make sure that they are on low if you are going to use them. You need to check your dog every 10 to 15 minutes tops to make sure the baby is okay. That is our job if you drop your baby off at a groomer.
So you mean if they use cages, it's okay?
There's cage dryers. The cage dryers, the ones that hook onto the cage dryers, I do enjoy those because you're able to monitor them and it's not even that strong. Now, when you have certain dryers where, like a Clark kennel, those should be banned. Those should be absolutely illegal. If I'm not mistaken, they should be taking care of that.
Okay, so that's a cage with a forceful dryer, and
That's
the
where
dogs
it's just
overheat.
all like blocked off where they can basically overheat.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't think a lot of places really did a lot of research and realized how serious and crucial it is